Talk Business Entrepreneur Series. Hi, I'm your host, Corey Fonville Foster, and I'm super excited because today we have some new and up and coming stars in the dance fitness world. We have Miss Ani Thompson and Miss Jocelyn Allen of Glow Girl Dance Fitness. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm super excited to have you guys. I've been seeing you on Instagram. I've been loving the J-Set and all the different dance styles. I'm like, if I only had the knees. So I'm super excited to have you guys here today talking to us about what it's like to start a new business amidst the pandemic and all the things. So I definitely want to give you guys an opportunity to introduce yourself. I will start with Miss Ani. Please do tell us all about yourself.
Thank you, Corey, and thank you for having us and giving us this platform. So, my name is Ani. Actually, Corey and I went to high school together, so fun fact there. So, I was mainly raised in Newport News, but I am originally from Panama, and I currently live in DC. My passion for dance started, I guess, I've always had it, but then when I went off to college for just my bachelor's, right? So undergrad, I joined the dance team there and I danced for 3 years. So that like really ignited that in me. And so ever since then, post grad, I continued to like take Zumba classes and dance classes because I always found an interest, and it was always a nice break from like traditionally working out, which I do enjoy also. But something about dancing, it just makes me happy. So yeah, right, exactly.
Thank you. Technology. Miss Jocelyn, please do introduce yourself as well.
Good morning. My name is Jocelyn Allen. So I am co-owner of Glow Girl Dance Fitness with Ani. Actually, Ani and I work together with JJR Solutions as well. So my dance experience began in high school. I was that girl that did not have a dance background, always loved it, but I decided that I wanted to try. That was kind of a pact that we made. I was the only one that actually made the dance team with no experience, and I'm on a team with a total of maybe like 20 other girls with so much dance experience, amazing dancers. So that is what started my dance experience. I loved it and enjoyed it. The coach pushed me. So moving fast forward, I attended Delaware State University and I tried out for the hip hop dance team. And so I did the hip hop dance team for a few years. And then after that, post grad, like Ani, I enjoy working out. So I got my gym membership. I was going to the gym often, but I did enjoy Zumba classes. And shout out to this young lady, her name was Coco. I attended her Zumba class, and I'm like, this is something I can see myself doing. So that is what struck me. I'm like, let's see, let me see, how do I go about becoming a Zumba licensed instructor? So that's where that idea came from. I went and got my Zumba license. This was January 2017, I believe. Shortly after that, I ended up finding I was pregnant with my little one. So that I ended up putting that on the back burner for a while. And now
For those of you who are listening, we have a little guest with us. But guys, you all know we are entrepreneurs. We wear many hats. We have mom entrepreneurs, so she's out here grinding. So I said we're gonna do this podcast even with the little one. So if you hear him, I'm not even gonna apologize for it, guys. You know this is the real. This is real life. We have to be moms. We have to be wives, spouses, girlfriends, sisters, daughters, all while being the boss women that we are. So kudos, welcome. We have our third little edition here, well, our fourth edition here. So you may hear him throughout and enjoy. Enjoy. All right. So, ladies, I like it. Different backgrounds. I used to dance. I was dancing in high school. I danced. Well, actually, I started dancing at like age 7. I did like the ballet, the tap, jazz, hip hop, lyrical. And now that I'm a little older, I've been trying mixed fit. Like I said, my knees aren't what they used to be. I don't have those Meg the Stallion knees. It's not there. But I do enjoy dance fitness. So I love that you guys came together from different backgrounds and created this thing that's now called Glow Girl Dance Fitness. So tell us what's special, because I was looking, I was like, there's it's not a mixed fit, it's not a Zumba, it definitely has a different flair. So what is Glow Girl Dance Fitness?
So our main goal with Glow Girl is to make dance fitness accessible and approachable. That's like our main tagline, because we do understand that some people are intimidated. Like they see the Zumba classes and they're like, whoa, like what is that? And you know, some classes are a little bit more intimidating than others, but we aim ours to be, you know, just very body positive. Come as you are, so to speak. Come where you are, and we'll meet you halfway. And so the concept kind of morphed, and I won't give too much away. We're still at the beginning, but it kind of morphed into, so in undergrad, and by the way, I went to St. Paul's College and HBCU in Virginia. And so in undergrad, I specifically did J-Sette. And then Jocelyn specifically did hip hop. And so, and us just kind of talking about it, we were like, well, let's kind of like merge the three, because then she also had the Zumba certification aspect. So I was like, well, let's like merge the three and make this like really eclectic, cool thing that up until that point I hadn't heard of. I don't know, something changed in the market, but I haven't seen it done like that. And yeah, that's kind of what got us there. I don't want to overtake the conversation, but I did see Jocelyn didn't get on camera or took her camera off, so I'll kind of leave it there.
Okay, that's cool. I like it. And I guess for those of you who are not familiar with J-Sette, Ani, can you tell people a little bit? Because I think most people know what Zumba is, they know what hip hop is, but what is J-Sette?
Thank you for that. Because I've been doing it for a year now. I just assume everybody knows, and I shouldn't assume that. But thank you for wanting me to clarify that. So J-Sette is essentially like band dancing. So if you've seen the movie Drumline, so it's the dancers that correspond with the bands. Like Majorette can kind of go into that as well. And again, that's what I did in undergrad. So that was kind of like where my little niche / passion lied. And so, yeah.
Awesome. So I would assume just watching like Majorette, there's a lot of 8 counts, there's a lot of like following the leader, repetition. Is that similar to what you guys are doing?
Actually, that's exactly what we do. Another thing that we wanted to kind of fuse into our dance fitness classes was kind of like giving it a feel of a dance class, because again, that's kind of like where both of our backgrounds are to some degree. And so specifically for the J-Set, we do take a moment in which I 3 8 counts. And then, you know, when we were like in person, the way we would do it is it'd be like rows. So like I would start, right? And then Jocelyn would kind of lead the other girls behind us. So that is how we still kind of do it. We're playing around with some new formulas, but I do like it, and we have gotten good feedback from that. So yeah.
Awesome. So Jocelyn, you're taking the hip hop portion, the Zumba part portion. Tell me, what is it like? Are people able to really follow with ease, or is it like beginner friendly?
With the hip hop part, we really want to make sure that we create a fusion because we felt like that would be perfect. That's what's going to set us apart from others. So with the hip hop portion, I feel like it slowly has turned into us doing twerk. A twerk routine at the end of class, which has become a big thing, very enjoyable. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. With Zumba, I really love that because I think you can do a lot of simple, crisp moves, and it's something that can be easily picked up from anybody with various dance background or fitness background. So that is what I really enjoy about them. I try to keep everything repetitive. That was one of our biggest feedback. So that was one of our biggest feedback. That's what we normally do. So we'll start with the warm up that I do, and then followed by Ani. She does J-Set with her amazing 8 count. That's something we've also had amazing feedback from. So then I follow with a few Zumba routines. So I try to follow the classes that I've gone to in the past, where there's a lot of various songs that are played back to back with no stops in between. That was something I learned over time because a lot of times I would try to teach the routine beforehand. And as I feel like as we have grown, we've realized, let's try to continue to simplify moves, keep it fun and simple, nothing too, draining or stressful, because our goal is to empower everyone from different various backgrounds, everyone to feel comfortable. And I love going to Glow Girl Dance Fitness to have that type of vibe. So I think with us incorporating the hip hop, twerk, and our Zumba and J-Set, it's become a great and amazing thing thus far.
Okay, cool. cool. I like it. It sounds intriguing. I might have to slide by, put my knee brace on, and come on. Because I like to twerk a little bit, shake a little something. I'm a millennial. I'm still young enough to do a little something on the dance floor, so I like it. All right, so we always like to talk about target audience because as an entrepreneur, you can say anybody can do, use my product or service, but there is always a target audience. So who is coming to Glow Girl Dance Fitness? Is it old ladies? Is it young hip girls with the knees? Is it, moms? Who is coming and who are you trying to get to partake in your fitness classes?
Yes. And you're so right. I think as business owners, we're always like, oh my God, no, you can do it too, and you can do it too. But you have to be realistic because, you can't, especially something like this, I feel you can't, not everyone likes to dance. So, you can't just assume that everyone is going to enjoy it. But from what we've learned as far as like our classes and then just also looking at our metrics, our demographic is definitely the professional woman. So a millennial woman, that has already went to college, perhaps even a little post grad, maybe in grad school currently or some type of, postgraduate degree, and is at this moment kind of teleworking, working from home because our classes are Tuesday and Thursday at 6. And, perhaps a little selfishly, but we kind of modeled it after our times because we log off at around 4:35. So an hour later is a perfect time for us to have class. So that's what we've noticed so far. And also it's in terms of like gender, it's mainly been female, Black female.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs a space. So I think that's great. So we got our working women who want to still get their fitness on. I'm glad you said it was virtual because I have my lovely gym membership just sitting there waiting for me, but I am not going to the gym and messing with COVID. You will not get me. So I definitely love that you guys are virtual and that you can do class twice a week, which is awesome. I thought you were once a week, but twice a week, that's great because that's a good workout. And because it's virtual, you can remember your dance routines, practice on your days off, and really get that, fitness in. And so I think that's great. And if you have not tried dance fitness, you should try it because it allows you to work out and sweat and be all huffy puffy, but not have like the pain associated with it because you're kind of tricked because of the dance, right? The music's going and you don't realize it's like get low and you're getting low and you don't realize that your knees are like crank, 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 that whole thing going on. That's literally why I did like mixed fit and Zumba because it tricked my mind into not feeling the pain of like working out, like being like told do 100 crunches. Instead, you can do a little twerk and work your abs. So I like it. I like it. You're selling me. I love it. I love it. All right. So part of the biggest part of this podcast is we like to talk about hurdles. We like to be real, right? Everybody wants to pretend like on Instagram that being an entrepreneur is just great. It's fun. It's so easy. Anyone can do it. But boy, do we have to put in the blood, the sweat, and the tears and more in the background. So, ladies, what has been one of your biggest hurdles with, getting your pretty new business off the ground?
So Ani, she has put me on the spot. I would say the biggest hurdle, and for myself, I feel like I can't speak for Ani as well. She might echo my thoughts. Consistency. I say consistency because with us, the transition of our general 9 to 5 position, working from home, just all of the tasks. Also for myself, being a mom, just trying to have a balance of everything. Consistency. I'm very much easily can just kind of like shift things to the side. Like, I'll push that to tomorrow and then tomorrow turns into the next day or the end of the week. So for me, it's consistency and being very intentional with my time. And that's something that I really am trying to work towards and do better in 2021. Ani has been amazing with creating such creative content for our page. So I'm trying to, she motivates me. I'm trying to do better in that area because it's easy for me to make an excuse. Working 9 to 5, then, trying to make time breaks in between with learning activities with my son, making dinner, playtime, watching a movie. And then it's like, okay, Glow Girl class is coming up tomorrow in a few days. what content do I need to create for our platform? What do I want to switch things up? Do I want to create a new warm-up? Trying to just do better, with have a better balance and make sure that I remain consistent, because social media is a huge factor. Everybody has some form of a social media. So if you're not, drawing your audience in, how do you expect to have your business grow? So that's a major thing for me. And I feel like, consistency in general plays a huge factor in all of that.
Yeah, you are preaching to everyone. And a lot of people don't realize it. You have to be on it. If you stop posting, it's like your business died. Nobody knows what's going on. And so yeah, like I get up in the morning, I scroll through and I see the little dances. I'm like, okay, they're still going strong. I try to like things and I did try to swing my arms once. I was like, nah, she's doing the most right there. I can't do all that. But I do get motivated. It makes me think, okay, I probably need to exercise today. I need to get off the couch. So I love the consistency, and it's the knowing is like the biggest part. If you know you have to do more, then the next battle is just figuring out when it's going to work for you. And I did the same thing. I started realizing that I couldn't do it in my day to day. Like I couldn't do it while the kids were doing stuff. I couldn't do it while I was prepping food. I had to either get up early or wait till everybody went to sleep because it's just there was no more time. You can only split yourself into so many pieces. So I love that you are, especially in the early stages, saying, okay, I realize what I need to do. Now let me just figure that out. Believe me, you're going to figure it out and it's going to work out for you. So just a little encouragement there. And Ani, I'm going to give you a chance. What has been your hurdle as far as business is concerned? Because I see you out here getting it. So what have you been up to?
I just want to echo Jocelyn really quickly that, I'm always super understanding of her because she does I don't have a kid, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, well, why can't she? Like, no, because my struggles are different than hers. I have a little bit more time, if you will. I have like 3 jobs aside from our 9 to 5. But just because I have 3 jobs and I can do it doesn't mean that I'm going to also, put that burden on her, considering she has children and a husband. So, we work with each other. That's why, it scales, because we balance each other out, what she's really good at, I'm not, and vice versa. And so it just works out. And so just to kind of bring on a new hurdle, if you will, and I know, Jocelyn, you can echo me on this one too, like, oh my gosh, when the quarantine happened, let me tell you, we had just secured a location to host our classes in. Was it twice a month? I think it was gonna be like every other Saturday. We had just secured a location, and we were basically like renting it, right? Like, a lady owned it. She did her own Zumba stuff, and then we would come in every other Saturday and do our thing. We had literally just secured it, and then boom, quarantine happened. The pandemic really hit, and that stuff was canceled. Like, we couldn't do anything, and I remember just feeling like, wow. Like, aside from feeling overwhelmed because it's a pandemic that's going on, I'm trying to understand like what it is. Then I'm also trying to figure out, okay, well, how is this going to impact my business? Like, we were just getting some good traction, and then to have to completely shift our business model to virtual and not ever have doing so. Like, we had never done that before. We were just getting our feet wet with in-person classes, like just getting over those anxieties. And now you're telling me I gotta still have those anxieties and now do it virtually with all of how Zoom be acting up. And oh my goodness, we were scared. So we definitely took like, an inadvertent maybe 2 to 3 month hiatus. And then we finally people kept asking us, actually, like the girls that had came to the class, they were like, yo, like, when y'all gonna go virtual? And we were like, oh, y'all want us to go virtual? Like, I don't know if you can relate to that, Jocelyn, but I was like, oh, like, y'all really want us? Oh, wow. Okay. And then that's what kind of really sparked us to be like, okay, sis, like, okay, let's sit down and figure this out. So that was a huge hurdle for us. And I feel like we've gotten better at it. Like we've learned all the troubleshooting tricks we use WebEx actually, but we've learned all the little troubleshooting tricks, and we've gotten into a nice cadence, no pun intended. But yeah, it was tough.
I believe it. It's been a learning curve for a lot of businesses that were physical and then had to switch to virtual. And especially with you guys still being in your infancy at the time, I can only imagine trying to figure it out. There are still people who cannot figure out Zoom. I'm like, unmute yourself, push the button. So I get it. And to make it work with music, because I always talk about people knowing it's a lag. Sometimes you have to wait. People have questions, like if you're dancing and you can't, you're like, oh, hold on a second, I can't see. I've been there. I've done some virtual dance stuff, just like for mixed fit and things, and it's a challenge because they may be facing one way, and then you're like, oh, they're the reverse. I almost like I'll give this quick story. I decided to get myself a little step aerobics thing, the little step thing. Oh my gosh. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. I put on this beginner YouTube video. When I tell you I'm glad I was the only person in the house, because when I tried to spin the way they were spinning, I almost flew into the couch. I was like, okay, so no, we're not gonna do step in the house because that's not gonna be safe. If I fall, I'm gonna be like that lady in the commercial. I've fallen and I can't get up because I'm trying to follow the people, but they're reversing. My legs got crossed, and I was like, nope, mm-mm. So yeah, some things are.
And one thing, I'm so sorry, I did not mean to
Yeah.
cut you off. But to that point, Jocelyn and I make it a point to tell our ladies, like, don't worry about left or right. Just do it as you see it. Because if you, and we don't say left or right, when we're doing our instruction. And again, like Jocelyn mentioned, especially for the Zumba stuff, it's very repetitive. So like, it doesn't even matter. So yeah, we make it a point because we never want anyone to get discouraged like that. Like, oh my God, well, I can't follow. It's like, no, girl, whatever arm you see, you do the same arm. Exactly. Just to mirror us, because if you focus on the minutia, you're gonna become, discouraged. Like we've all been there. So yeah, we get
Definitely.
it.
I think that's a good key because boy, the struggle's real. And I'm a pretty coordinated person, but the struggle was real. I laughed at myself. I looked around, no one want nobody in the house. And I was like, Lord, if somebody saw me, if the neighbor happened to be peeking through the curtain, whoa, they would have been rolling. I was too through. I was like, let me just slide this whole stepper right back to the wall. Not gonna happen. But thank you guys for sharing that because I think people need to hear, even though there's a pandemic, you don't have to give up on your business, right? You can still go. You may have to tweak, you may have to pivot, you may have to give a little bit more thought into how you do things and how you present it, but it's definitely possible. So now that you're building your audience, once COVID is over and hopefully soon, you'll be able to, get into a location and have a following. And I think that that's the biggest piece is that you don't have to give up. You can persist in that. So I want to ask you, as a new entrepreneur, right? Is there any tips that you can give to someone else that's thinking, "Hey, I want to start a business," even in these circumstances of being in the midst of a pandemic?
I would say the hardest part in general, I think, is just starting. So you have to create a plan, um, and everyone can have amazing, creative, well thought ideas, but I think that you have to be intentional with, what do you want, think about the bigger picture. What do you want that business to look like? Just think about, okay, who are you going to cater to? What, when, where, why, and how? And then actually starting. And I think that was a big thing for me personally, because my friends have talked about this with me several times. And one of my best friends actually said it and said, you know what? You said this, mentioned about wanting to do Zumba classes or have some form of a dance fitness class for years. And after you had your son, you just kind of push everything to the side, which it really should not have been an excuse. I kind of just let it go. But it was like once you met Ani, it kind of gave you that push. And I genuinely knew that. Once Ani kind of like threw that thought out there, it's always been in the back of my mind, but I just never actually carried through. And I think that that's a major thing is actually starting, making the plan and starting the actual business. Because once you start, you see things to start to grow. I think that's also another motivation. Like, okay, we made, and little steps is always great. We never want to look at any, like, minimize any type of success. When you start in a business, you have to understand, it's not going to be this big, huge thing starting off. You got to take baby steps and let things grow. So I would definitely say, making that plan and actually starting. And when you have a great support system or have someone that's going to motivate you, that's always a plus.
Awesome. I think that's really great advice because it is different when you have someone there to kind of bounce ideas off of. You have someone there to kind of pick you up when you get discouraged. So I'm glad that you're working together. I had to hire an assistant for that. Like, talk me up, make me feel better. So you have that built into your business plan by having someone there and being able to do this as co-owners. Ani, what would be one of your tips for a new entrepreneur?
I do have a tip. And first, and Corey, please stop me if we're close to time, but I do want to share a quick story that is poignant to what Jocelyn was saying, right? In terms of like encouragement. And she gives me way too much credit. I never take a whole lot of credit for this. But so as she mentioned, she wanted to be an instructor, right? Or she had already got her Zumba certification, but then she had the baby, life happened. And so she had auditioned, she finally got the nerve, right? She auditioned. And Jocelyn, I always tell this story. You probably sick of me telling this story. But she had finally got the nerve, like, okay, I'm going to audition. She auditioned for a dance fitness company. We're in DC, Maryland. So in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And she, unfortunately, I don't know why, but whatever, that's tea. She didn't make it to the next round. And so she didn't directly tell me, this is again when we're in the office, she didn't directly tell me, but I think I heard it from one of our coworkers. And I was like, oh no, not my boo. Like I felt that. I'm like, oh my goodness, no, we gotta encourage her. And I can't remember the relation of when I found out to when I invited her to a Zumba class that I was taking at the time. It wasn't a Zumba class, but it was like dance fitness. So I was like, boo, like it's out in Maryland. I don't think it'll be far from me, come out. So we took the class, and then afterwards I asked her, okay, well, what did you think? And she was like, it was cool. Like, I like the instructor. I feel like I could do this though. And I was like, yeah, you could. You really could. And so we like, ha ha ha, we laughed at it, kind of like didn't make anything serious of it at the moment. But then a few days passed by, and then I was like, wait, no, like we really could. So that just kind of got the wheels turning. And so I guess as kind of to piggyback off of what Jocelyn said as an encouraging factor, like, take those moments of loss or rejection as redirection. Because imagine if she just would have just been like, oh, whatever, I'll never do that again. And, well, here, not giving myself credit, but here comes me like trying to just encourage her. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, like we could really do this. Like we could really make it a thing. And so here we are. So I just wanted to share that little nugget. And then as far as like another little tip that I would encourage entrepreneurs is to take like a marketing social media class, because we actually took one. And that was really helpful. Like we were way over our head, I think the term is. Like we just didn't know a lot of things. But once we took that class, man, like I think we really got our groove and our wheels turning.
Awesome. I think that's all great advice. Definitely, because you'd be surprised where you find the encouragement. So I love that you were there to just kind of like nudge her a little bit and say, yeah, you can. Because sometimes we don't see the greatness within ourselves. It takes an outside person to say, I see that. And then you're like, you see me? Okay, all right. And then you get all hype on yourself. You're like, okay, then let's do this. But yeah, so many people are sitting out there in the world and not realizing that they are amazing, that they have been born with a gift to share with people. And they're stuck in these cubicles, not living the life that really was intended for them. So I'm glad that you guys are both there for each other to motivate and keep each other, going for your passion and living in your greatness. So before we go, because I always like people to share, don't get shy, talk about your stuff. Tell us what products or services you guys have coming out or that you're working on, how we can connect with you, all of the things, because we want people who are now excited and are ready to dance. They done turned on music while they're listening to this. They are ready. How do they get to dance with you guys?
So I think we mentioned at some point, we have our classes virtual Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We also offer one-on-one. So Corey, like if you kind of want to get like it's just you as an example, right? If you wanted to get your feet wet, but you didn't want to be in a class with other folks, just reach out to us. We can make something happen where, we coordinate our schedules and you have us, one-on-one. No one else is there, just you and I, or us two and you. And then for the month of February, I know that this is gonna, air a little bit later, but we are offering so you can bring a friend, kind of like a BOGO. So if you pay for a class or pay for a membership, a friend can tag along with you at no cost to them, so they can try us out for free. So I'll leave it there, Jocelyn. I can't think of anything else at the moment, but you can fill in those gaps if I missed something.
I echo everything that you mentioned. For those that want to take a look at just, our content and just gauge and get an idea of our class, we are on Instagram at Glow Girl Dance Fitness. We also will be launching a website soon. I don't know, we don't have a definite date yet, but that is in the works. That's something that has been brought to our attention for a while. People have been inquiring about the class, and I guess maybe they don't necessarily have an Instagram. So we will be launching a website soon. And another thing I want to note, so we try to create new content each month. So when we do our twerk class at the end of the class, we try to create, so it'll be a new twerk routine each month that we have. So that kind of gets people, I guess, like curious, like, okay, what's coming next month? That type of thing. But yes, please join our class. As Ani mentioned, we do have, I guess, so to speak, our BOGO sale that we'll have for the month of February, and our one-on-one classes.
Awesome, thank you. And guys, we do record these ahead of time, so that's why they're saying this is what we have. But sometimes you don't know what sales and promotions you're going to do months out. But what I will do is I will keep in touch with these ladies. And if you look in the, probably at the bottom of the screen, you'll see if they have any promotions for March. I also will tag any social media links if they launch their website, which I hope they do. Before then, we will also put that down. So if you're listening to the podcast, you can go to the little write-up section and the links will be there with all the information. If you're watching on YouTube, like I said, just check out the bottom, check out the description, and I will make sure you can still get connected to that. But ladies, I definitely want to thank you. Remember, guys, if you want to connect with Ani or Jocelyn and Glow Girl Dance Fitness, check them out on Instagram or in the links, and definitely try it out. Look, like I said, I'm gonna try it. As a matter of fact, hold me to it. I will record something so you guys see me trying, because I should have recorded that step thing I was doing. Lord help me. But yeah, so I will be checking out their class. I might bring a friend so I don't feel lonely, and I will show you guys. So that'll be something to look forward to. Watch me either succeed or struggle. Either way, it'll be fun. I'll still sweat. It'll be fun. I'll do it with a smile. But definitely thank you, ladies, for taking the time out of your schedules to be up here on the podcast today and really giving us words of encouragement. Believe it or not, you probably touched someone's heart today, touched someone's soul. Somebody is sitting at home again thinking, oh, I really wish I could do this. And you're like, but you can, right? But I did it. You know what I mean? So I love that you said all those words of encouragement, and hopefully they really do help someone today. So guys out there in I Rock land, remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock, and I will see you next time.